1, 2, 2 seconds in. Now I'm yapping. Then I was yapping. Online. Welcome, online. Welcome to the real world. It is 2:26 p.m. Eastern. Myself, being Dean, is the yin yang with the thespian masks in it. Say hi, George.
Hello.
Hi, George is the good King George. That's the bear below the yin yang. It's my Discord channel. That's why he's not on top. If I could figure out how to reverse it, I would. Hide myself. Lower myself. One day I'm going to figure out, or somebody's going to answer my question that I've asked to many people. How do we get them side by side along the bottom? Or maybe we'll just always be unique and have them run down the side like the sample code allows. Put the timestamps in. Note the news. 01, 18. News and current events. Note. Huh. Another mass. Pew pew. Shoot. Pew pew. Scroll up in the tube. I think it's in Maryland. Earlier, and Dean and George hadn't heard about it. So we went and searched. There's another one. Ended in a fiery car crash. At least 9 injured. It doesn't say how they were injured. 1 DOA KIA unalive. Didn't say who. And I didn't research it. I had errands to go run. So I said, well, the world keeps turning around. That's a cheap trick song. We had stuff to did. And even though there's a checklist, it's the dynamics of things. Write it down in the log. 50. Just prior to main stream turn on. GH asked about the allegedly, reportedly, fictionally, or not factually, or yes, they are factually, but we don't know yet. There's no hard confirmations. All the soft talk, all the qualifiers, disclaimers, disqualifiers. We're talking about a modern fiction romance novel of mystery and intrigue that is going around in the book clubs these days. Silly internet people. About the allegedly. We'll call them not born here's violent takeovers of apartment buildings. Does that sound fair, George? Did I soften it up enough?
I'm guessing.
I hope so. There have been allegations. There have been rumors. There have been, again, we will never learn. Very edited videos going around with somebody running their mouth up, down, all around, behind, and in front of these very edited videos, saying with somebody's mouth what my eyes say that's not what happening there. But we're supposed to believe the mouth. So we are going to say the way the lawyers do about appeals and all this other stuff. Sorry, lawyers. I'm hopping in your lane and stealing your clout. let's assume or presume, regardless of all the jokes about that, because we're talking about it didn't happen to me or George personally. So we can't say. We're doing this what ifing because we are both involved in certain professions, including running our First Amendment mouth on a not government space. So we try to follow, hence all this nonsensory wordage. Just being free speakers in a country that, other than the rules of the private party publishers that host our opinions, just like if we send them into the Dear Abbeys, not an endorsement or a sponsor, or whatever else the local paper to me when it was a paper used to have these little things and you could send in an opinion piece. Now they say opinion piece on them, maybe. But that's kind of what
Maybe's
we're
right.
doing. I'm sorry, what?
I said maybe correct.
Yeah.
I was
Once,
agreeing with you.
yeah. Once
They
upon a
might.
time, allegedly. Yeah, of course. If you spoke to the editor or the owner of the papers, if you were just yes manning or barking so that the public would hate you instead of the owner of the newspaper, of course they'd publish your garbage. And then they blame you. They
I
say,
mean, let's
well,
face it, editorials was just the editor's personal point of view.
right. So that's all we're doing. We're taking, here's the short version of the allegedlys of the fiction romance action movie. There are, not to be derogatory, so from outside the lines that constitute the continental United States, foreigners, strangers in our midst who may or may not have any form of lawful or legal status, obviously criminals, absolutely taking over apartment buildings and doing something with it. We were both asked, myself and George, you guys have opinions and buttholes. Both seem to produce the same thing. It's an old people saying. Opinions are like a-holes. Everybody's got one.
And they all stink.
Yep. But we were asked to opine, and we thought, well, if we do that online living stuff, let's try to opine without offending. Do you want to go first or me go first, George?
You can go first so I can set the tone.
Okay. Here's my tone. Or if you don't know, let me add one more disclaimer. DW, go first. RE, bad guy of any kind, take over of residential complex of any kind. None of you poop house lawyers get up in here commenting my comments about how, well, I think it was a collection of duplexes. Chat up. Chat up, you face. You can go back. You can listen to my other stuff. I would refer you to other social medias, but I don't have any. It got erased. I am an a-hole. I am very, I believe that Darwin adaptation and survival of the fittest. That's what my full reductionism. That's all I get out of it. You can go back and listen to the other ones for my DNA reasons. I have a paper that says I call it my AKC papers. I am a member in good standing of a recognized federal blah blah blah, which means I'm a savage with war-loving ways. There's all the disqualifying and qualifying statement about me that I think, well, if the people that live there and the people that own it don't defend it, hell with them. Peace out. Hire yourself. I can send you a whole bunch of criminal security guards to, be less unlawful than that. And that's where I go. And if you won't defend your own home and your own chillings and your own everything else, I don't care. Bye. Just like if you're, I don't know. Oh no, the one bad guy left Syria, and now we're all wringing our hands about all those other bad guys that are now going to sit in the palace seat in Syria. I don't care. I'm just honest about it. Everybody else, oh, what about this and then the little babies and everything else? We have children mistreated here. When our house is in order, I'll worry about other people's houses. That's all I really got for it, George. I think they should all figure something out themselves. And anybody that says, well, the police should this and the immigration should that, and the mafia was born back before all these internet things, and they used to do the same things. The rackets, they sold insurance. You got to pay us a fee where you already pay taxes and pay cops, allegedly, reportedly, in the fiction romance novels. Well,
Well,
if you don't pay your insurance to the Italians, your building might just burn down. So
well,
this has been going on for a long, long time.
in my opinion, what's going on right now, or supposed allegedly going on now,
Yes.
with armed people taking over apartments. Even if they walked in with a gun in their hand and says, "Can we use your apartment?" and you go, "Yes," no, that's illegal because you had a threat in your hand, and a reasonable person would deem that as a threat and give in just so they don't wind up with a bullet in them. They jurisdiction, municipality, state, feds, whatever of that region should send in 2 or 3 SWAT teams and either eliminate the threat by arrest or eliminate by the threat by deleting said individuals, because they knew they were breaking the rules slash laws. Otherwise, why would they all be armed with their pew pews in their hands, ready to pew pew somebody if they said no? And it's against the rules slash laws to set booby traps for them. Otherwise, if as a apartment dweller, that's what I would have done. Set booby traps. Come on in. Boom.
Well, if you're standing there facing them, you don't need a booby
Well,
trap. Be
well,
the booby trap.
yes, but I'm just saying I'd be behind cover. I'm not gonna just face 4 or 5 people without some sort of protection. And I mean defensive and offensive. Slow them down. Make enough noise that the cops, law enforcement, sheriff's department, state, feds, whoever, have to come.
Okay. And if we go your way, I don't want to hear it. And I won't. Just not about you, George. We're just expounding upon ideas. Because this is what's going to happen. Those same idiots that I constantly rag on because we shouldn't have them. We should all learn how to take care of our own business. I don't need a nanny. if you're going to turn it over to government agents with G words, and they come shoot the place up, rootin' tootin' 1800 style with their militaristic weaponry, and knock off 5 innocents in the process, too bad. You called them there. Don't invite the devil or the Dracula in your house. Or go
But
back to
also
my way.
don't complain about uh,
Yeah, then shut up
someone
about your
taking.
apartment building.
Yeah,
If you're not
I
going to
mean,
handle it my way, and you're not going to handle it George's way, having understood that you allowed the government. Don't start whining about your 4th and your amendment and your 14th and your 10th and your 5th. When you called the government in, it is
exactly.
utterly reasonable for them, because go listen to any of them. They all think they're Judge Dredd. I am the law. Comply. They're ED 209 from the famous RoboCop movie. They are all. Don't sit there and live in the real world and whine about some boogeyman is took over your apartment building. Well, call your landlord and tell them to hire some Pinkerton agents. Especially
They're
because,
not what they used to be.
yeah, go see the movie. Let me catch up the references. I think that was a good talk. I think we have good opinions.
Or go hire the A team.
Yeah. Just put your bat symbol up in the sky. If you're going to be talking reality, but then including or meshing fantasy, then go full tilt boogie on it and shut up. Call your governor of whatever state you live in and tell them that you're not going to vote them next time if they don't expel the riffraff.
Well, to that note,
17,
that
15, let's do
phone call
some
that phone call was
movie
made.
refs.
I'm just saying, to that note, the phone call was made and it was answered, and that's one reason Kamala's not going to be president.
Robocop.
Biden and Kamala didn't handle it, so people voted for the other person.
Judge Dredd. I don't know how to spell it. Is it Dredd?
Yeah, it is literally the word dread.
Well, I thought Dredd was Dread. Judge Dredd. He's a fictional character. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let me
played
make sure.
by the first one was played by Stallone.
Sylvester Stallone. Yep. The Italian Stallion. Define. Dread. Anticipate with great apprehension. Yeah. We did RoboCop, Tombstone, Judge Dredd. Today's title has to do with
And A Team.
famous movies. Oh, the TV show, right?
Yes,
The
where
A
all they can
Team.
manage to hit is equipment. No, they never hit anybody. Firing all those pew pews with all those many pew pew rounds. All they hit is equipment and beat the bad guy into submission or stun him into
Besides,
submission.
went down the rabbit hole. My mind went down there.
Okay.
Besides, Talia Shire, is that her name? Ask the Google bar. Dear Google bar, is the goddess named Talia Shire? Yes. Adrian. In all the Rocky movies. The poor, mistreated wife in the Godfather movies. The sister, the daughter. Everything about her is fantastic, wonderful. She makes everything good. Many, many, many hearts to you in not a creepy way, Talia Shire. And besides, you look sort of like my aunt did back in the day. You remember me of her. Okay, Talia Shire.
You're,
Fanboy adoration. But going back to the 18, the original one, the only one as far as I'm concerned, and I never did watch it. Uh, what's the famous quote? I love it when a plan comes together. Is that it?
yes, yes,
I do know the quote because, in our day and age, when you and I were humans, George, not
yeah.
old, everybody loved the 18 and everybody said that thing at least 100 times a day in my ear space. I didn't have to watch it. And besides, I had
I
Mr. T.
Well, I didn't care for it myself because in my eyes, which means my opinion, they took some when I was growing up, some very badass real people and made them look like idiots. Special forces, and the fact that okay, you're shooting these many amount of bullets and you never hit anybody, you only hit equipment. And by the time A Team came along, I had been in the shooting competitions, long, mostly black powder, long enough to know that ain't happening. If you shoot at a vehicle, your pew pew, unless you're trying to shoot underneath the car, and even then, there's a good chance you're gonna hit somebody because due to rifling, the fact you're pew pewing an automatic and the muzzle rise and all that good stuff, your likelihood to hit somebody.
Anybody offended by me calling Talia Shire goddess? Well, send me the bill for your counseling. I don't care. I ain't got no money. I ain't gonna pay it. Be offensed. If you're offensed by that, you are wrong. Oh my gosh. She's been in a lot of stuff.
Yep. A lot of stuff I haven't watched. I did see Rocky 1, and I think I saw Rocky 2, and that's
Oh
as far as it
man.
went.
Oh, you
I've
must
seen bits
watch
and
Rocky 3. You must. It is the
I've
best
seen
one.
I've seen bits and pieces of the other ones.
He- And
I'm
I
not a Rocky
believe
fan.
it's the one. Oh, no, no, no. Just a fan of life. And I had already put in my thing. I was going to try to do something with my EFAP. I am a fanboy of that too.
Is is that the one where he fights Lou not Lou. Uh the Austrian
I don't,
who acts as a Russian?
I think that guy's
Or is
Swedish. Dolph Lundgren.
yeah, Dolph. I just couldn't remember his name at the second.
I will break you. I don't know. Wow, Talia
So
Shire Godfather era in a wedding dress is fantastic.
so in my opinion, and this is
Thanks
my opinion
for the
only,
memories.
at that time, maybe even now, if there was a true, let's put it street fight, not a boxing match, but a fight between Lou Ferrigno and Stallone, I think not Lou, Dolph Lundgren and uh, Stallone, Dolph would kick him down the street and back up the street due to
Oh,
training. practice, and experience.
Oh yeah. No, Rocky 3. I was right. That's Rocky 4
Oh,
maybe, or 5 or 92. I don't know. There's a lot of Rocky
oh,
movies.
that's the one with Mr. T.
Oh God, yes.
I
And
have
it's in movies.
respect.
There are many, like the frame pause guys that I like to watch their thing so much. Hey guys, get me on. We'll talk about. There might be more than just a frame. It might take a second or two or 20. And Mr. T
I,
did not win awards for it, and nobody else remembers it. I always remember him doing his whatever weird upside down sit ups with his 20 pack of muscles in his belly and chest during all the workout montages.
yeah. As a person who puts his money where his mouth is, I have the utmost respect for Mr. T.
Quote to
As,
Adrian.
as a former bodyguard, I have none.
And anybody offended by men being manly, look away. And I can surely not imitate the world famous Mr. T, the one and only, the
Pity
amicable.
the fool. I pity the fool.
Pity the fool. So I'm just going to go ahead and read this because it says Clubber Lang, hard brackets. Calling to Adrian, smooth talks. Hard bracket closed. Script style. Hey woman, listen here. Since your old man ain't got no heart, maybe you like to see a real man. I bet you stay up late every night dreaming you had a real man, don't you? Nobody. This is the destiny. This is the thing. That whole scene where they're standing on the famous steps with the famous statue. Mr. T as Clubber Lang letting Rocky have it and then switching over to letting Adrian have it in that kind of super male, apex male kind of way that I can't even mimic it. I can't imitate it. You have to be one. No one would believe it if I was up there on the screen saying that kind of trash. That was Mr. T. Oh, it's so
Well,
perfect. It's about a minute worth of. That's all I need. Oh, there was more movie wrapped around that? I don't remember. I don't recall.
there's some old trivia about before he was a known actor, he was a bodyguard and bouncer. He got noted by Hollywood filmmakers because he won the bodyguard bouncer the world bouncer competition. But before he did that, he served for a while till he got fired as Sammy Davis Jr.'s bodyguard. Someone came up to shoot Sammy versus doing what bodyguards do. And bodyguards, I hate to tell you, people are bullet catchers.
Supposed to be. They're not anymore.
Well, or prevent the other person from even taking a shot. Stop the bullet by some means.
See, I forget what they called it. The big pile on top of candidate Trump back in Butler and back in July.
Uh-huh.
Some of us
Anyhow,
from the old millennium call it you are either a bullet sponge or a meat shield. That's your job.
yes,
Bodyguards.
or
Get it through
or
your noggin.
prevent it from happening first. Those are your two jobs as a bodyguard: prevent or soak it up. Anyhow, the story went.
Who is this?
Someone came out of a crowd to attempt to shoot Sammy Davis Jr. versus covering Sammy. He dove out of the way, and Sammy drew his sidearm and eliminated the threat himself, and then promptly fired Mr. T.
So Mr. T was supposedly not the
The fighter.
bravery?
Yes. He has a phobia of firearms. If you look
Yeah,
at
he does.
all of the A teams shows where he shoots, the actor closes his eyes. Ow. And I said story.
I mean, there's lots and lots of retellings and tellings, and
Yeah.
what I'm not seeing is Mr. T. Except it's not excluding Mr. T from the. It doesn't say nothing found with Mr. T. It says.
But my other clarification is I said, as a human being and someone putting their money where their mouth is, I do have Mr. T has my respect. He has done good, and I don't mean in Hollywood. I'm talking about when he sort of kind of left Hollywood. As he said, that someone asked him why did he wear all that gold. He says, once I get enough of it, I'm gonna build a church and a community center. And that's exactly what he did. He took all that gold that was around his neck for so long, sold it, and started a church in center. I don't know if he's an my words just left. An actual minister or a lay minister.
I don't know. I was just looking him up on the wiki, but I don't know, distracted, bored. Story about T.
But I
Cover.
did watch on the early days of HBO, because when we moved into this house, it was someone had left it on, so I watched it. When we came in, I hooked my TV to it. They had that bouncer competition, and it had, they had the obstacle course. I remember one of the obstacle was going through you had to bust through a door. They had a lift where they were lifting, I think it was beer kegs full of sand. And then they had a sort of kind of a boxing match. It was more of a fight with boxing gloves. It didn't resemble a boxing match whatsoever. And others, and he wound up winning. But the number of centers to help people that he's opened up or help open up are numerous. That's one reason he has my respect. He wasn't just someone who talked about it. He did something about it eventually. Same thing with Chuck Norris. He doesn't talk about helping people, he helps people. And then the people he helps are the ones that talk about it.
There's some kind of place in Los Angeles, but I can't tell what it is. Pink hot dogs.
Oh, there it was, the toughest man in the world competition. It was mostly bouncers. That wasn't the one. I was one earlier than that, I thought.
I forgot to sign in on the other one. Oop.
But it was like a tough man competition made up of mostly bouncers. Though there is a very interesting competition now going on that's you can only watch it on YouTube. Is they get I think it's like 6 or 8 martial artists along with one plain person, and they put them in different self-defense scenarios to see how well they do, complete with, you know, attempting to de-escalate in a bar fight or situation, your awareness of what happens around you as you're doing this and stuff. It's interesting competition. Um, Also, it's to prove what forms of martial arts or fighting training can best help you in a self-defense situation. But I go with any training is better than no training. All martial arts have their good side and their bad side. They all have, they can do so. If you're at the tippy top of the range in martial arts, yeah, you can probably hurt someone that doesn't know anything about fighting or martial arts. But if you're faking it, you're going to learn very quickly. You need to start learning it, not fake it.
Here we go. Let's drum roll. I got 2 bell thingy notifications.
Oh no.
Clicky. Oh,
What
well,
are they?
there are comments 2 hours ago and 1 hour ago from some lady. The lady that gets online, talks with us, has to do
Okay.
with yesterday's streams. We'll check into those later. And then let's go to. Oh, no, you go over here. Your stuff studio live. The numbers have stopped growing. Because we had 7 views from yesterday. And where are the comments? Comments 3.
Maybe
Oh,
we
yeah,
need to
because
do
I put one up there.
maybe we need to do some shorter videos.
Nope. Once I can get Wife-a-Roo to bounce around in t-shirt and tight shorts or something, we'll put some shorts up there. Shorts of shorts. I know what sells. We'll do all that jazz.
Literally? We're going to do a musical?
Yeah. Or a song from a different musical. Oh boy. 7 views. All this other stuff. Go to the dashboard. Yep. 385. Less. Yesterday was like 176 hours. Today it's 167.7. Or something. Not good. We need, I forget how much it was. A lot to add up to 4,000 a year. Yeah. So we got all that. Made the ding dong song. I finished all the admin stuff after getting offline last night. Yeah. So I don't have to do admin on it today, other than deal with them comments at some point. Deal with it. I'm just dealing with it, man. I'm just dealing with it. Analytics. I was going to try to put up a thing about there. Because earlier today I did have a plan. One day it's See, our short videos one day, George, are going to be 2 hours of just catching up with half of the super chats. And what a super chat is where people looking at your stream or followers of yours or people while you're live, they can click a little thing and give you money in the chat, and it makes their chat very highlighted and loud and proud. You have to be fully monetized and everything else before you can start playing those games with your YouTube chat. Ah, short videos, short lives. Nope, not happening. Oh, the thing. Kurt Russell breaks it down.
Due to things that come across my desk at weird times and weird days, I have now learned, for those that are interested, that in North Carolina, you may now legally, don't know when it got started, when they changed the law, legally carry a automatic knife, such as a switchblade, stiletto, and so forth, but not a ballistic knife, which means the blade leaves the handle.
Ballistic or projectile.
Yeah. As long as it can be seen. As soon as you stick it in your pocket, it's an automatic concealed weapon. And I could not find any definition on blade length. I just found where it was switchblade or stiletto. Because stiletto and switchblades, according to legalese in North Carolina, are the same critter. You push a button or flip a switch, and the blade automatically comes to the open position. And for those of our brethren that work as private investigators, security guards, so forth and so on, you may not carry a knife of any kind that can be considered a weapon. And the common pocket knife does not count. North Carolina, they do have a definition of, they put out a definition of what they call a common pocket knife.
Yep. Good luck to you. You better carry that statute around. You download it into your telephone and a link back to the original source because they still won't believe you. The cops don't care.
And it falls under 14-269. North Carolina criminal statute.
Spring assisted knife, California law. Let's see how that rolls. Spring assisted knives are legal in California according to the AI overview of Google Bar. That is not a link to the law. It is a link to the Google's collective wisdoms, which mainly seems to come from Shouse or Shouse Law Group. Two of its accumulations. One is a web page and one is a YouTube video. Yes, spring assisted knives are legal in California if they meet certain criteria. They can be opened with one hand using thumb pressure on the blade or thumb stud. Okay, that's the common pocket knife that everybody carries these days.
Or lock blade, yeah.
They have a detent or other mechanism that resists opening the blade or biases it back to a closed position. Okay, so it has to lock open. And they are not switchblades, which are knives that open with a flick of the wrist or the press of a button. So, no, they're not legal in California. I asked you, are switchblade, sweet switchblade knives? That's a song lyric or poem from W. Axel Bailey, otherwise known as Axl Rose. And then you can do him he can do you a favor, but then you're going to do whatever he likes. Of course, the state of California doesn't have a fast. Click here for california.gov/law. All right, done with you, California. I'm going to take attorneys from your state's word for it. When we were asking the
Nice
Google
laws in Canada.
when we were asking the Google bar earlier about North Carolina law, why it popped up a whole bunch of our General Assembly statutes every time.
Well, the first site I went to, something called Bulldog Law. Well, this switchblade with a blade length of 2 inches or more are illegal. A
What?
switchblade is a knife which opens automatically by hand pressure applied to a button or other device in handle.
Yeah, I don't know, because one of the results I found, of course, they are illegal at schools. We found that earlier in North Carolina law.
But
And
all
I
knives
didn't
are
keep
illegal.
any of the links open. And see, yeah, but because law people have to do, I'm meaning elected people. They can't just say, all knives, even the ones that are otherwise legal elsewhere in North Carolina, are not legal at school. They have to say, this is a non inclusive list. And they give you a huge list. Look, if the
Ballistic
list is
knives,
non inclusive, then shut up.
ballistic knives that shoot, which a knife that shoots out of the handle component are illegal. Detachable knives, knife that is not undetectable knife. In other words, the old trend of the CIA, what they used to call a CIA letter opener, a polymer knife. They're illegal in California.
Everything's
Belt
illegal
buckle
in
knife.
North Carolina. I mean, in California. North Carolina's trying.
North
Too many
Carolina,
imports from California.
the non-detectable knives are not illegal in North Carolina.
The
There's no statute on them.
why I fled from that place. Number one, they have no statewide uniformity. Every subdivision or political subdivision of anything is allowed to have more and more and more and more rules. And I guess you'd have to live there to realize that LA County has, I don't know how many, let's ask the Google bar.
Okay. The other one that's illegal.
How many incorporated municipalities are there in Los Angeles County? When I worked for, not as a sworn anything or as a deputy, when I worked for the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, with all my courtesy cards and everything else, the firearm owned by the Sheriff's Department that I was to keep with me at all times had to be licensed, registered, or some other damn thing at 35 police departments. Because Los Angeles County has 88 incorporated cities. I had to go to 35. The sheriff department couldn't do it for me, and they can't do it for their deputies. I'm sure they by now have some cutout or law enforcement exclusion. Back then, they didn't, and I worked for them under a contract, not as an employee directly employed by a government agency. So, being a private person, it didn't matter who owned it. I had to go and present all my stuff and get fingerprinted and get background checked in 35 cities in the county. I, at the first opportunity, fled from that, what I call California tyranny of absolute madness. Oh, yeah, a tyranny of stupidity? North Carolina? A very adult and grown up judgment. I decided to stay here because you know why? Statewide uniformity. You mean I don't have to register me? Do I have to get a license to breathe? Because that's what it feels like in California.
Going back to the other subject, the belt buckle knives. These are knives which slip into a belt buckle and are
Hang on, George. Keep telling it for a second. I'm gonna go pee. Belt buckle knives.
Okay. Are subcategory of dirk or dagger are also illegal. Generally speaking, okay, there's another comment. If the knife has a mechanism that allows the user to deploy it blade quickly or designed to easily be concealed, it is prohibited by law in California. Concealed carry of a knife. If you're coming, when it comes to concealed carry, the law is much more restrictive. Under state law, it is illegal to carry concealed dirk or dagger with a blade over 2 inches, excuse the hiccups, meaning any knife capable of using as a stabbing weapon that inflicts significant injury or death. Penalty for carrying concealed knife includes up to a year in jail. Carrying a knife in a sheath worn openly, suspended from your waist, isn't considered concealed by law. Okay. But according to 2 inches, that means your average Swiss Army knife is considered a concealed weapon because it has a 2.5-inch blade. Your standard, everyday, run-of-the-mill, 2-bladed pocket knife. The one blade is generally about 2.5 inches long. A 2-inch blade or less would be the shorter blade on your Swiss Army knife that most people carry for things for like cutting rope, cutting tape, scraping dirt from underneath your fingernails.
I was back.
That's the definition of a 2-inch knife. Just saying anything over 2 inches is illegal in California. That's a good statement, especially if you can put it in your pocket.
And I promise you, if you're gonna play games like live in that realm of Hades hole, remember, it's up to the cop. Do you think they know that? Do you think they've sat online with their friend or listened? Just listen to any old thing? Even if they got tagged or sent a link? Hell no. They're going to find that thing and say, oh man, that's a felony, and put their knees on you and taser you and cuff you up and, de escalate you. But there's no quotas.
Delete you.
They're badge wearing bullies who hate the world
Yeah.
and love to hurt people. Just my humble opinion. Based on
Well,
my training and experience.
in North Carolina, you do this because it came across my desk. It is illegal, including for law enforcement officers. It is illegal to own or possess a ballistic knife. In other words, where you pull the trigger or something and the knife leaves the handle in a way in which it will stick into something once it leaves the handle after pressing said trigger, switch, diode, whatever.
Shuriken. I put it up on the screen. I'll call you crazy, Fornia, California. I say it with love. Stay there. Somebody put a wall around California. And the other joke is, and always was and always will be, Sue History, California.
Question: the second movie, not
57.
Escape from New York, but the other one with Snake
Escape from
Plissken
LA.
as a guy. That's what I figured. That's what I kind of remember it was.
Not the only thing not illegal in CA is being illegal. You figure it out. What am I talking about? I don't know. It's a mystery. We've been saying it since the 1960s. I guess I wasn't
Oh,
speaking and hearing in the 1960s
though in the
till the last 2
'70s,
months of it.
your best cop TV shows took place in California. Dragnet, Adam 12, SWAT, all of them. The good ones were in California,
The streets of San Francisco. Wasn't that a cop
along
show?
with the. Yes, I liked it with Michael Douglas.
Oh boy.
Oh, as well as some of your best PI shows until the 80s when we got Magnum PI. He's Hawaii. Rockford Files, California. Cannon, California. Barnaby Jones, California. The exception to that show was Something Houston, and it took place in Houston, Texas. Sort of a millionaire turned private investigator of sorts. And I think even
Hawaii
Heart to Heart,
5-0. Book 'em, Dano.
there's always exceptions to the rule. See, old cop shows, stories of the Highway Patrol, stories of the Texas Rangers, Sky King. You have to be older than me. Definitely older than me. I just know them from reruns. Because on the East Coast, that's mostly what we got were reruns in the 70s.
Here we are in the 80s. That's an Adam and the Ant song. The mind always flits to the musics and the movies and the TV shows.
Policewoman, that took place in California. In fact, I think that was San Francisco. Hunter, that which was in the late 70s, early 80s. LA. What's that one with William Shatner? TJ Hooker, California. SWAT, California.
Angie Dickinson. She fine. She was Pepper
Sergeant
Pepper Anderson, LAPD's top undercover cop. Oh, they have a photo. Let's do a critique. Some of the other photos have caught mine eye. I apologize, world. I try to do better and avert my eyes and be a gentleman, but I can't. I'm going to go to school. Oh, no, no, no. Who let her do that? All right, let's go to G-word school. Not even wrapped around a obviously empty revolving one. Full stop. Angie Dickinson led to. Hey, baby.
It's pretty obviously empty.
Police woman. Police woman.
Looking,
Angie Dickinson.
unfortunately, look down enough barrels of revolvers to know that one's empty.
So told. Equals. Oh, no. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Remember, walking in the sand. Everybody who's afeared of it, control yourselves. Look away.
And then also in a movie, she played Ma Barker.
G-word at school. Two-handed. No. Stop crossing your thumbs behind your G-words. If you're
Yes.
not, if you have no idea what on this planet to do with your not the activating hand, holding hand, thumb, or fingers, put it over your heart. It's heart armor. Do not
Especially when
risk, because you see these horrible pictures of the loveliest, most beautifulest, fantastibalist Angie Dickinson doing something as dumb as this. Remember, this is movie/TV magic. And you can see, because everybody in America has, ever since they invented television and movies, learns everything they know from television and movies. This is where people learn this crap.
if you accidentally cross your thumbs and it's an automatic firearm, the pew pew will bite you.
I made a
And
note
bite
somewhere
you
the other
hard.
night. Anyway, we'll jump off of that.
I'm speaking from
Especially
experience.
you fine, ageless, goddesses, angel, fairer sex, and I don't care if you were born that way or you became that way. Please, women of all sexes, genders, identities, and ages, teach
And
bad
unlike
guys that this is the right thing to do. Any
and
chance you
unlike what
get, whisper to the bad guys, man, your thumb ain't far enough behind that thing. But to everybody else, I know that that thumb right there where she's got it will make this goes roundy round revolver style G-word not work at all. I know this because somebody didn't teach a bad guy who tried to ended unalive me in a video game with one of those, and had he not stuck his dumb idiot's thumb behind that hammer, I would not be here whining on your internet offending you. Sorry, world.
Oh,
Blame your bad guys.
do not put any fingers, digits, or anything next to the cylinder in front of any part of that cylinder, because you will lose that part of you that you desire to keep, because gases escape out the side in front of the barrel before it get hit, before the bullet goes, the pew pew goes out the end of the barrel, and you will cut that appendage off or severely destroy it.
Oh my gosh. She is so statuesque. Is. I don't know. Let's ask the internet bar. Angie Dickinson. Wiki page, please.
Trying to find out.
Oh, she's
So,
still with us. Happy
yes.
birthday last September 30th. Born Angeline Brown. Angie Dickinson. Angie Dickinson. Yes, I misspelled her name. I'm that good and that fast. Ageless. Oh my gosh. Look at those eyes. Wait for the screen, George. I got the little mouse hand over her. I'm just so distracted by them eyes. Is it wrong to say? Because aren't they asking? Do you think I'm? What's the Rod Stewart song? Do I look fat in these jeans? Do these jeans make me look fat? Nothing you can do makes you look unappealing, you wonderful, magical policewoman. In any way,
Here's something that got posted.
my screen won't
Uh,
unzoom.
Vegan influencer on extreme diet has died at 39.
Well,
Please, people, you need protein. And the biggest source, I hate to tell you, people, the biggest source of protein comes from animal flesh and byproduct, such as milk, eggs.
there are many, many ways. Gosh, no, is that her?
No.
Did I get did I get lost in space? What's going on here?
Yeah. They're showing you pictures of the TV show.
Yeah, but this
The blonde.
says, oh, that's not her. That's Policewoman TV show. I
Yes.
don't care. I don't want to see Policewoman TV show. I want to see her. Go to her. My screen won't unzoom. I shouldn't have zoomed it.
Back.
Trivia, did you know? Nope. Go to her. Unzoom screen. No, my screen won't unzoom. Click the button. Yay. Screen unzoomed. Photo. There are photo 217. Let's get them scrolling. Internet, if you don't like,
All I see is you going up and down, up and down, up and down.
if you don't like somebody scrolling the internet and doing acting slash react content, well, I'm sorry. I apologize. We're trying to talk about other things. Knifes. That's not a knife. That's another famous movie. Let's check it out. Remember I said earlier,
And
if
I
you're
love that movie.
unsure about your two-handed work, do it one-handed. Ask Miss Angie Dickinson. Once upon a time in Big Bad Mama, 1974.
Is that the one where she plays um
I
the name
don't
of the
know.
character? No,
Imagine
there's an
she
actress.
plays an amazingly beautiful and wonderful woman in a pink dress.
Ma Barker. She plays Ma Barker. Though she doesn't look anything like Ma Barker.
I have no clue. What is this? The dating games? Was she on that? Looked like a game show from the 60s or 70s.
I'm seeing
Rowan
it. Look
and
at her.
Martin's Laugh-In, 1967. Well, it's sort of a game show. Look at that background. We need to clip that kind of background when we start putting if we
Oh,
ever
look at the
brave
car.
up enough to put a face on screen or do like the other streamers do. That's the background I want.
That's the hippie background.
That is
You know,
glorious.
Roland and Martin's laughing. A comical variety show in the late 60s, early 70s. So it was a time period of the uh free love, the go-go dancer. But anyhow, look at the scroll up and look at the ones in the car window that she's in. You had her, Angie Dixon, Anne Margaret, and I can't tell the other person.
Angie Dickinson. Tangent. Tangents. I'm obsessed. I'm studied. I had forgotten all about it. Check this out. Let's open this one in a new tab. Oh my gosh. All you babies in the last 20 years who have done this whole wide boot cut or bell bottoms revivalism of yours, you ain't got nothing on whatever the heck you call this. Is it a skirt or is it pants? But it certainly got some bells at the bottom. This is awesome.
Oh yeah,
Here's a throwback into history.
and
And
that's look who the guy is,
I don't remember.
Captain Kirk himself.
William Shatner. In Big Bad Mama. We're still in Big Bad Mama.
That was 74, wasn't it?
And yeah. Oh no. Close that. I opened a new tab. Let's see what else we can find. Remember the G word things. Keep your thumbs out from behind the machines. We were learning lessons in G word school from. One day I'm going to get me a written down that I can scroll to and find real quick. Memograph of all that introductory stuff you're supposed to do for the famous people. Like they say at the award shows or whatever. The untouchable, the unstoppable, the amazing, the cloud dwelling, the unicorn riding. What a smile. Holy cow. Yes, I saw her in lesser clothes above. Internet. And my eyes do see that. But that's a fine, fine fashion turn to the left. Almost over the shoulder look portrait. Miss Angie Dixon, you amaze. I've got it big screen. Almost as good as today's thumbnail. Let's get today's thumbnail up. The permanent, the whatever. If you ever want to study it and see, learn. Something went blip blip. What happened?
I
Something.
muted so someone could talk to me.
Um, no, today is turning into Blonde's day. Blondes. It was her destiny. Go listen to the ABBA song linked in the description. The winner takes it all. The way she sings, Miss Agnetha. She says, it was her destiny. Either D apostrophe stiny or DI stiny. Destiny. I'm sorry. I sound like I'm mocking it. I love it. I heart it. Agnetha. in spite of the fact that you're the theme music of my living nightmares. I can find good in it, including nobody could wear blue eyeball shadows or underlines or overlines or whatever you properly call that. Better than you, ma'am. For the rest of you internet worlds, if you got interested in, can you learn something from people's real lives? Agnetha had troubles with the mental health. May still have. It can cost you your everything. And if I'm misspelling her name, somebody correct me. ABBA fame, mental health issues. I'm not saying anything violating anybody's HIPAAs. The rest of you who think HIPAA has anything to do with that, grow up. It's very documented and documentaried all over the planet. She has come out in modern era's times in the new millennium and had discussions about it, as well as got back on tour with the band. Agnetha, I can't say that. It's a Swedish name with uberlats. I know what a uberlats is, or ulats, or whatever they're called. Mental health. Going all the way back to 2022, she developed a crippling phobia of flying, way back the personal challenges from many moons ago on the YouTube, 2013, getting out in the world again after decades of depression, agoraphobia, all the other phobias, those kind of things that happen. Anxiety, stress induced whatever's. Went way back. You can go study, search the band, ABBAs. I try to avoid them, but sometimes they get in my mind. Oh my gosh. Back to Angie Dickinson. That smile. Are those brown eyes? Them big brown eyes. There's some 50s or 60s song about it. Yep. Let's check it out. Black and white photo. Old fashioned lady under things that are far more than any new fashioned lady outer things. Yowza. Catcalls, everything else. Misogynist.
Well, the black and white
Sexist.
photo you saw her putting on stockings, that is from Rio Bravo with
Leo.
John Wayne,
Bravo.
Dean Martin. Yep, with John Wayne, Dean Martin. Um, oh, no, I can't remember his name. Used to do.
She got a star. Them gams. You're quoting the Three Stooges. Jealousy. Let's
She
look at
started off
jealousy.
entertainment as a dancer, if I remember correctly.
For whatever reason. In jealousy. 1984.
There it is. Ricky
Zoom.
Nelson,
Zoom photo.
John Wayne, Dean Martin, Ricky Nelson, and Walter Brennan.
Man. Even when she got into her late 20s in 1984. She hasn't aged a day. Ever. Jealousy. Hello, Elizabeth. We're being men. I mean, we're admiring a long ago policewoman, Angie Dickinson. We discussed briefly Agnetha, can't say her last name, from ABBA's mental health issues. But I stopped on
Wow.
the word jealousy. Not necessarily her wearing that fine, slippery satin looking garment. Was
Talking about a blast.
jealousy. What the
Talking
heck
about a
is the
blast from the past. On
Rob
Kickstarter, there is a heavy metal
lyrics?
magazine relaunch. They're attempting to relaunch Heavy Metal Magazine.
Yay. The reason the word jealousy stopped my clock. True story. I'm getting it on the screen. Which is one of the few songs by Rob Zombie that I actually like. Starts out with a weird sounding audio, just voiceover that says superstition, fear, and jealousy. And then they go on to do Rob Zombie stuff that I can't mimic or Dead I Am the Sky, Watching Angels Cry. Well, they slowly turn, conquering the worm. But that one word, jealousy, I scream. There it is, right above Angie Dickinson's head. Must be where Rob Zombie got it from. Please go back 100%. Machine. Is that her with Luciano Pavarotti? It would appear so. And then it's all movie covers. Roxy, Justice, Sands, something? I don't know. And every time I see that police story title, I think love story, and then that sad piano music comes in my head. Most people don't remember anything about love story other than that sad piano music. Las Flores del Diablo. It's got to be good. It's got Yul Brynner, that everybody says Brenner as if it has an E in the beginning. Omar Sharif and Angie Dickinson. Must be good. I don't remember it at all. There was some newer era. When is this? This is? It doesn't say. And that's going to be the end of the Andy Dickinson, Andy. The Angie Dickinson loop-de-loop. 23. Done with that. R.E. Angie. Angie, I still love you, baby. Everywhere I look, I see your eyes. It's the Rolling Stones. Maybe he was singing to her. Don't know. Should we ask Google Bar? Probably not. Don't care. Don't be that guy, and certainly don't be a bad guy. The Republicans are going after Liz Cheney. She knew it was politics when she took the job. You ain't gonna hurt her feelings, Republicans. She's the whatever you call a baby goddess in Greek mythology, under the permanent god-man emperor of Halliburton, her father. What you gonna do? Steal her trillions of dollars, defense funded? I'm sure she's like, okay, go after me. Let's play. All the peasants will delight themselves and argue and beat each other up and pew pew each other in their schools while we up here in the clouds in the castles use big strong words like attack each other and war each other and all this political drama crap that they pay us for. Silly peasants. Go fight amongst yourselves. That was supposed to be part of the theme of today. It's on the checklist. 25. Silly peasants. Go fight amongst yourselves. And yes, Windows note typer and internets in the world. I do say and spell year as Y-E-R. That way I'm never wrong. I don't ever risk using your where I meant you are.
You
It's from
all,
my native tongue.
y'all.
Yowler. Yowler. The
Wait a
many
minute.
Elvises.
I'm gonna call the deputy. Call the body. Didn't shoot the deputy, so I'll call him.
Everything cut out. I didn't catch that last one. Say again, 10-9, 10-9.
Dead. I can't call the sheriff because I shot him. I will call the deputy because I didn't shoot him.
Hmm.
A reference to
I
a
did
song.
not shoot the deputy. Extremely famous fad by the ganja dude. Can't think of his name right now. The king, the father, the man of all reggaes. Goes back to that Will Smith movie.
Bob Harley.
Yeah, Bob Marley. That's it. All I can remember was Ganja Man. Just saying.
Well, his son's taken over making music of that nature.
Yay.
There's a few albums out.
Senator Bernie Sanders on his own Senator Bernie Sanders channel says, I will be voting no on this military budget. Good for you, Bernie Sanders. Vote no.
Bernie
Say
Sanders.
say nope to
Wah,
dope
wah,
and
wah.
ugh to drugs. They broke the rules. Says 60 Minutes Australia. They must be talking about that submarine that imploded.
This
It
is how
didn't
another way you
implode. People, use your words. Submarines don't implode, they just crush.
know that times have changed, and not necessarily for the better, because in the '60s, Bernie Sanders would have been arrested and put in prison.
Oh, he was put in Senate.
Yes, but that was in the '70s, not I think
When did
70s
Bernie
or the '80s,
Sanders get in the
because
Senate?
he was a confessed card carrying communist.
No, he's a
50s, we
socialist.
100
Not a communist, a
Oh
socialist.
no, he is a card carrying communist. He calls himself now a socialist. He even studied in Russia.
Card carrying communist. I think that's rumor mill stuff again. He is a
No,
member of some socialist party since the 1950s or 60s. Bernie, according to Quora, which is just people typing stuff on the internet. It's a message board or like Reddit. Yeah,
he was a self-confessed communist.
except if he was, where is he confessing it?
He admitted he carried the red book. It's all that studying in Russia. sympathized with the
Bernie Sanders
Soviet Union.
confesses communism. I'm not finding it. See, again, you got to be very careful.
No, because you're Googling it. You're not, and Google is not all, see all be all.
If he said it, somebody that hates him, like the New York Post and Donald J. Trump, because it appears that then why don't they put a link to the video or the document or something? Again, it's just let's repeat the lie, repeat the lie
It's not a lie.
without being able to provide receipts. It is. He freely admits, and I can go find it. I don't want to. And published his own thing about that silly socialist party out of whatever state that is. Not the one he's even in, I don't think. I think it destroys all credibility if you can't provide. If not Google, who?
Hold on.
What search engine is going to get me a link to a believable thing from him himself that I can? I'll even accept admitting and misuse the word confessing.
Okay, I will redirect my wording and say he claims he's a socialist, which is the same coin as communism. And but he who with reservations admired the economic achievements of Cuba. In other words, keeping everybody in extreme poverty under Fidel Castro, and of Nicaragua under Santista, extreme poverty, and the Soviet right end of the Soviet Union right up to the fall of the Berlin Wall.
Even the far left. And I don't know. I can't watch these. I have to buy
And
myself
that
a
is
YouTube
from
premium. Says that what you're saying
Reason.
about he made some kind of comments in the 80s that appears in short searching. Even CNN picked on him for praising
This
Castro's Cuba.
this is from Reason.com, and they have video of him.
Yes, everybody's got it. Sometime in 2020, he defended himself about comments he made in the 1980s about admiring. What did it say? Hang on. Don't let me start misquoting. So you are correct there. Still doesn't make him a
Okay, here's
card carrying member of the Communist Party. Holy crap, is it 1957 again?
WashingtonExaminer.com. Bernie Sanders in 1970 said that I do not mind people calling me a communist. In 1972, Sanders, then a
Bernie Sanders doesn't care what you
International
call him. He's super rich.
product through being elected to office, yeah. Protest candidate of the Socialist Libertarian Union Party. That a name alone says communism. Visited an alternative high school in Rutland, Vermont to give his campaign speech during a question and answer session. Sanders, 31, offered brushed off accusations of being a left-wing radical. I don't mind people coming up with don't read anything in it. Read the quote. I do not mind people coming up and calling me a communist, says Sanders. At least they're still alive. On night of the Super Bowl, Trump says communist was the first word that came to mind when he thought of Sanders in an interview with Fox News' Sean Hannity.
That's what they call dog
Okay.
whistling.
No, if you go, what, give me one word when it comes to mind when I say, the lieutenant governor's name. I can't remember his name right this second.
Scumbag, lying,
And
foolish, idiot
see,
politician.
exactly. You can't prove that he's a scumbag. You just believe he's a scumbag according to what you believe or think or feel or whatever you want to call it.
He called
This was what
himself
the
a
question
black
was.
Nazi.
What do you think of asking Trump? What do you think of Bernie Sanders? First words come to my mind. He's a communist. But socialism in the form that Bernie Sanders wants is a form of communism. It's not a democracy. It's not a republic. It's definitely not a representative republic.
Although I'm not going to make, I'm not going down that road
What road?
of trying to make good Mr. Trump's words. Mr. Trump can make his own
Not
words
trying.
good.
I am not trying to make good anybody's words other than my own.
Except you're trying to make yours good by saying blah,
No,
blah, blah. Maybe you
I
misspoke.
read
You
an
should
art.
have
I read.
said,
No, I
you
was
should have
reading
said
verbatim an
socialist.
article. I was
And
reading
then,
verbatim an article.
and then,
Verbatim an article. And you misconstrued it as me backing up Trump. I said I even read the thing from 1972.
right. And while you were reading it, you said that Bernie
I
Sanders
read the
doesn't
article.
mind when people call him a communist. So then you said that, so Mr. Trump called him a communist, and that's what makes it all
No,
okay to wash off what
that's
we
not what
started
I
with.
said.
He is a
Go,
confessed card carrying communist.
I said go back. I did not say what you said. I said go back and listen. I did say he's a card carrying commie. I did also say that according to, and I kept reading the article, the Super Bowl, Trump said when someone asked him what first comes to mind when you think of when you hear Bernie Sanders, he said communist. Any socialism, any of the various theories or systems of social organization in which means producing or distributing goods is owned collectively or by the centralized government that often plans to control the economics. That's the noun definition, socialism. The stage of Marxist-Leninist theory intermediate treat capitalism and communism, in which means of products that they collectively own but are completely classless society has not yet been activated. Now let's look up the definition of communism.
I showed them on
Area.
screen. I just didn't read them out loud because I didn't want to interrupt Elizabeth.
Okay. Theoretical economic system that classified by a collective ownership of property and by the organization of labor for common advantage and all members. A system of government which the state plans and controls economic and a single, often authoritarian party holds power, claiming to make progress towards a higher social order in which all goods are equal, shared by the people. In other words, socialism and communism are practically the same thing. In fact, they use the same definition, different wording. A socialist is a communist. The government owns everything. We'll dole it out as needed, everybody supposedly equal. In other words, in most socialist and communist governments or countries, everybody's equally poor. Only the government has everything. And if you're the government, you have everything. The only place that socialism / communism works is in small communities such as a kibbutz,
Don't work there
where
either.
you're allowed to leave if you want to. And you're no longer a part of that community. But while you are on a kibbutz, labor's divided equally, supposedly, and everything belongs to everybody. In fact, one of my favorite female politician, Golda Meir, started off on a kibbutz. Yes, I don't mind strong women. I like Margaret Thatcher and Golda Meir. If we got someone that had the backbone of Golda Meir to run for president, she would get my vote. Or another Margaret Thatcher. They were tough as men when they needed to be, and as gentle as a mother when they needed to be. Because they were both mothers and wives and leaders of their country or political party.
Capitalism to exist. Yeah. Sorry, I was reading the chat. Reading the chat box. So the end of the day is that Bernie Sanders is not a confessed communist. Especially not a confessed, with quotes wrapped around it, card-carrying communist.
Okay, he's a card-carrying socialist, which amounts to the same thing.
Okay. He is a admitted, confessed I'm not looking it up.
Yes, 1972.
Because just like all the rest of them,
Oh, I agree about all the rest of them. I
anybody
don't.
in our government, anybody that ran themselves for election, every single MFing one of them, if you ask me to describe them in one word, I'm going to say scumbag.
Okay, I agree with that. I can live with that.
And
All
trying to,
politicians are crooked. All politicians are crooked.
yes,
In fact,
I
as my
accept it
father
as
would,
fact without being able to, I cannot prove it.
as
That's,
my
I'll
father
just
used to
quote
say,
other politicians. The Supreme Court guy that said, I'll know it when I see it.
my father used to say, all politicians are crooked. So crooked that when you bury them, you're going to have to use an auger and screw them into the ground.
Oh my gosh.
And that's the quote from my father, who, as I much wish he was still here, he is not.
That was a good run. See, if we made these things shorter and capped ourselves and didn't allow ourselves to discuss, it's not an argument. Anybody who gets in this and sees an argument, grow up. Go get some growing up done somewhere.
Yes, please.
This was a good conversation. It went across good
Yes.
things. It refreshed topics. These are to be covered today.
Dean and I
Let's see.
may
What's
agree.
what's
Yeah.
on the
Dean and I
checklist for today? Politics again.
Dean and I may agree on a lot of things, but we also disagree on a lot of things, but we are still friends.
We're agreeing. We're using different words to say the same thing. Because here's what I think. Let me run off on a tangent and say why Bernie Sanders should not say something as stupid as that, and then run around saying, "But I'm the super rich dude," blah blah blah, and then he can go talk because it's the weight, it's the bulge in the back of his pants. Excuse me if I'm rude. I'm gonna speak Injun for a minute.
He has
It
heat
has nothing
wampum.
to do with the bulge in the front of men's pants that attract women. It's the bulge in the back of their pants, meaning the wallet. All you,
you just
all you,
covered you just covered Fox uh Gutfeld show from last night. You just paraphrased them.
very good.
Tyson.
That if I had maybe I heard him in the wind. I apologize for stealing your thunder, sir. I didn't watch that show. I do not. No matter
I
who
know.
tells me you should watch the Gutfeld show, I say, why? You want to hear me cuss? You want to see me mad? Why would you tell me something like that?
I watch mostly for one person because I find him funny and truthful, and that's the former wrestler Tyson. Uh,
I don't know, Iron Mike, man. I yield. I yield the floor. Is that who you're talking about, Iron Mike?
no, um, hold on.
Anyway,
I don't know. He only goes by one name. I've never heard if he has a full name.
I have to go pee very badly. I'll put the BRB girl up. I shall be right back. And then I was returned, but I may have to run off again to get a drink of water. So we are at 01:51, and also
Oh,
making
also,
a bubbling noise in the water
I
closet.
I misspoke of his name. It's Tyrus.
Oh, man, you said Tyson, and I said
Yeah, I meant Tyrus.
a former wrestler. You said Tyson,
Yeah.
and I thought, well, I might have to mute in between the minutes. Because if Iron Mike Tyson's talking, I might listen. If it ain't him, I don't care. That whole
His birth
previous
is
episode can be
uh
easily defined as this, and that's why I'll try to clarify to anybody listening along, saying, "Oh, is it net drama?" If that's what'll get you sharing it with your friends, heck yeah, me and George hate each other. But look how we can talk to each other. We don't. We hearty heart each other. Because what the smart kids that do the high speed, high IQ stuff call it, let me put it in all caps, with a red balloon, is a distinction without a difference. And here, let me give you my idea without all the qualifiers and disclaimers and disqualifying statements. Here's my idea of why that is a distinction without a difference regarding Mr. Bernie Sanders. Number one, there's two reasons I have. One, all right, let's say R.E. Bernie Sanders. Number one, socialist is what the ZINNAZI stands for. So do you really want to wear that label around? Self-labeled, high-educated, well-funded scumbag that gets paid by the taxpayers to be a taxpayer-funded scumbag and tell half of us the lies that we want to hear. Prove me wrong. Prove me different. That's why it's a
well
distinction without a difference. I don't care what you call him. Just he calls himself a socialist, and it's fine with me. If that's the first word that comes to Donald J. Trump's mouth, that's fine too. But Donald Trump, next time, since you're famous for name calling, call him a scumbag.
uh
Don't don't
but
call him
but
something that he could outhouse lawyer you about. Call him something that he cannot prove otherwise. Because here's how I can call every politician ever:
yeah.
scumbag, filth,
Well,
whatever. Number
I'd like to
one,
clarify something.
go ahead.
Tyrus is the how he goes by as an actor, author, and professional wrestler. He is born George Murdoch. He also at one time went by Brutus Clay or the Furkett. I don't know how you pronounce it. It's Funkasaurus. I know it's Franken. Luckily, he's Frankenfurter or something. But Dr. Frankenfurter, no, that's someone else from Rocky Horror Picture
Burger
Show.
Frankfurter.
The prince, only prince of.
And the other reason why I would call Bernie Sanders and all others, all the rest, I guarantee you, if I went and searched for it, especially as long as his old scumbaggardly bum has been sitting in people's seats, collecting the checks and the contracts and everything else, I'm unabashedly hateful of the prideful that think they're going to go be the rulers and leaders of this nation. Mr. Socialist, here we go. Number two, why it's a distinction without a difference. And I'm not going to mince words. I don't care what you call him. Just be able to back it up. Prove to me that he has never, let me put never, broken a campaign promise. Because a man's only as good as his word. If you can't keep your word, you are nothing. And then there's number three, Bernie Sanders' net worth. Open Secrets. I don't know who Open Secret Worth is. He has an estimated net worth of supposedly just over $500,000 in 2018. I don't believe that, not for a second. I simply don't. The street says he is part of the 1%. You know, I don't care. He might be smarter and less prideful, according to Financial Samurai. I don't know who that is. 2.5 to 5 million. Put your money where your mouth is, Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders defends his 3 properties and $2 million net worth, according to a podcast Rex. I don't know what that is on YouTube. Until you live as poor as I live, Bernie Sanders, because you gave it all away. You can shut the F up about your socialism. You're a filthy liar.
He really wants to be the classic sense of a socialist leader. In other words, he lives in the mansion and everybody else doesn't.
Right. But he's doing it for the good of them.
Yep. A la look at the notorious socialist leader.
Questionable net worth that is way the heck above the common person. And go study yourself. If you're going to be common, phonetically spelled, that means you are part of the commune. And I don't want to hear about how blah, blah, blah. Because being in the Senate and 16 years prior to the Senate, you were in the House of Representatives, then the minimum wage in America would be what you idiots get paid. If you truly believed any of your BS, any of them, any idea of we're all about the working, shut up about your common and peasant people. You prideful glut, freak show scumbags. Anybody else who thinks that that is me dog whistling and calling for anybody to do any kind of stupid harm against them? No. If I was really wanting to be judged by that company and assess, I put it in yesterday's. I put it in the day before yesterday's. I think I put it in today's. I put it somewhere. I'll get back to it. When I want to join that club, I'll think hard about it. Because if I'm going to give up my everything that makes me think I'm not an immoral scumbaggerly soul brute like they are, I'm going to do it for the big bucks, not $150,000 a year or whatever some bonehead senator makes. Because everybody knows it's all about the campaign money anyway.
No,
Got
it's
to
about the
walk.
extra money. It's about the extra money they make on the sly.
Well, that part of that
The
is the
people,
campaigns. Look at they spent almost $1 billion in
and she went over budget.
in Trump's campaign,
Oh, that's right.
and he
Kamala
went
took
over
3
budget, and they still haven't paid all their bills. All you Republicans need to shut the f up about everybody else until you guys can all get together in each state with your GOP and your nationwide that Trump's daughter-in-law just quit so she could become something else.
Why not?
The GOP itself, the throughout the federal version, until you can all stop not paying your bills, you all should be impeached, and that money should be clawed back from the United States Department of Justice.
Wasn't it Kamala that had 3 billion and went 30? I think 30 million over.
Now she just over 1 billion, and I don't know. Let's find out. Has Kamala Harris's campaign, I heard and I saw headlines a couple weeks ago, paid all of its bills? On November 25, they only had 1.8 million left. Some of that, and they have to close it out. What nobody talks about in all this, and I still can't get a good answer, used to say $1, but now it says $3. If you check the box, you can let some of your tax money go to the presidential campaign. Is that included in their campaign money, or does that come after secretly? $1.5 billion according to the New York Times. Now they're supposed to be covering up and protecting and biased in every way towards the Democrats.
Well, she spent 1.3 billion just on media.
I don't know. They left a little bit money left over to cover any debts. They should also have obligations.
Campaigning,
Uh,
because according to, as you put, Open Secrets, she put $1.38 billion on media. Advertisement was 89 million. Salaries was 76 million. All other, something called all other, whatever that is, 74 million. Unclassified or unclassifiable, 72 million. 10 paying expenses, 56 million. I gotta mute you for a second. Or mute me.
I'm looking at the Fox News. They're the most biased against Ms. Harris or anybody else -D. They showed that she paid Oprah Winfrey's production company $1 million for that supposed thing. Giving money to prominent celebrities was the theme of Harris' campaign, which gave almost $4 million to Village Marketing. I'm just quoting the Fox News. If I'm wrong, then somebody sue Fox News. Get it taken down. Yeah, but anyway, to me, and I know it's the reality. 1 million years ago, I ran a campaign for a guy. We masked it and washed everything off through my computer businesses. And after all the taxes are properly paid, I can do whatever I want with my leftover and my personal private business taxes and payroll taxes, and every form of tax had been paid. So I had a fistful of money. Whether I stick 'em in G strings at the local bar, which we don't have any around me, don't worry about it, or hand them back to the politician that contracted me is none of anybody's ding-danging business. I ain't trying to write it down and avoid taxes, and they ain't trying to write it up. Everybody knows who doesn't deny reality that, and if any politician tried to claim that they didn't get rich off that campaign and then produced documents and tax returns and photos and whatever, that they were really that good of a good guy, that nobody close to them grabbed a hold of all that money. Because if you don't spend it, you got to give it back. You've got to apportion it back to all the people. Go look that up yourself, what apportionment means. You
Do you
have to
trust Forbes?
refund it. Nah, I mean, I don't care. I closed those tabs. It's
Okay,
any
I just didn't know.
politician who claimed that them and their campaign didn't make a fortune off that campaign itself is just a further deeper filthy liar that I hope ends up in a hotter realm of Hades for those useless lies.
That one of
Or
the first.
they might just be a true story. Because if you ain't that kind of disgusting, entitled, I need to take the people's money because it was my blessing by birth and circumstance, or the divine chose me to be the politician scumbag and get rich, then you're
Well,
just dumb. You're just incredibly stupid. See Mark Robinson, North Carolina.
according to Forbes, Biden now Harris campaign committee raised $997.2 million. Trump's committee raised $388 million between January 2023 and October 16th, 2024. That's according to Forbes. Ending balance. Okay, it says Federal Election Commission fringe available, ending with the balance 118 million and 36.2 million in cash on hand, respectively. This is okay. Harris, whose campaign raised 19.5 billion from bigger donors between October 17th and November 1, as compared to the only 4.5 million for Trump. Harris Victory Fund, which raised money for both Harris's campaign and Democratic group, raised $1.2 billion this election cycle, according to the
1.2.
FEC file released in October 24th.
Gosh, somebody have it clipped without an ad. Please, please, please.
That's
See,
enough
life
of that.
sometimes gives you candy bars. No offense to all other neat to eat treats. Fruits.
And sometimes
Eat
they give
that.
you peanut covered shit. Oops. Fecal matter.
1.2 billion. This one has a lot. Do shorts have ads? Let's find out. Autoplay should be blocked. It is blocked. Now go to the tab. I don't see an ad. Do I dare? If an ad comes up, I'm going to close the tab real quick. This is where I keep giggling about 1.2 billion. Let's find out.
More than 1.2 danger billion dollars. Oh man!
Oh man! Oh my gosh. That was right in the neighborhood. GH reading about KH 1.2 billion. TODO found EFAP. Life. Share. Copy. Thank you, Air Old Void. I hope I don't get you in trouble. EFAP. Meme. Boom. And I can't remember the guy's name who originally said that. It made everybody in the EFAP universe go nuts. I know his nickname. I'm not going to say that because they erased his nickname after their like 100th episode.
Well, according to the AP, Harris raised $1.6 billion.
I'm sure they got more than that and more than that. All of them. They all lie
Well, I'm
about
sure.
everything, including income and expenses. What I truly believe is that the most of them, including all the Trumps, there's enough business people, real world, telling them, well, you got to wash off that campaign money, man. We'll give you 50
Well,
cents on the dollar after taxes, Don. And he's like, okay. And then they better be leaning in there and telling them, so next time you're going to pay off someone to shut up, hand them the money. Don't try to write it out of your business, you moron.
the last week of the campaign, Harris raised 160 million, but spent 277 million. Compared, and it says compared to Trump pull in 87 million and spent how much? 113 million over that time.
And this has been going on. And I'm pointing out a fact, but all Trump defenders out there, get over it. I victim blame and shame horribly about this. Don't worry about it. Your guy's okay. I call it smart. He better hope that religion he professes he's wrong about, or he'll go to the realm of Hades forever, ever, eternal more. Otherwise,
Anywho,
the Trump campaign leaves all its cities with hundreds of thousands of dollars. October
well, they
11th, cities seek more than $750K in unpaid bills from Trump. I'm getting to it. See, the Democrats don't seem to have this problem. I just searched for Harris campaign unpaid bills, and there's none of these. Given, especially this one. Do you Yahoo? Yahoo hates T star
Trump.
star star star. Sorry, I know you can't handle even his name. Well, you wrote it. If you're not going to say his name, why do you write it, Yahoo people? everybody on. But anyway, I have noted
That's
in the
what I say
past, and I
according
note
to.
again, Yahoo will twist reality towards making Mr. Trump look worse than he already is.
Yeah. And
Uh,
elevate the other side, regardless of who's running.
way back in 19, the Center for Public Integrity. Why the Trump campaign won't pay its bills? Because they're deadbeats, they're scumbags. Here's the problem I got with it. There's an old cliche. There's a saying. Mess me once. Shame on me. Oh no, mess me once. Shame on you. Mess me twice or again. Shame on me. Cities. He didn't pay you in 15, 16, and 17. Cities. Why did you let him come there in 2020 or 2024? That's on you.
Because the cities might say they have unpaid bills, but they made more money off of him coming there than they would of him not coming there.
Well, that's a
That's the other
cheesy
thing they don't want to put in.
justification.
That's their justification.
Trump said, "Don't pay bill when microphone broke." Because Trump and all of his people, he said it on 2020 that he wouldn't pay, and then it happened again in 2024. The microphone didn't work, and him and all of his billionaire friends and everybody else didn't ever say, "Oh man, mics fail. Let's bring a backup system." Don't book a venue that doesn't have a backup microphone system, or you can buy one for $10 off of Amazon.com. A megaphone. Have
My
a plan
question.
B and a plan C.
My question, and this is whether I don't care who the politician is, why does the politician owe the city? What's this bill they owe the city?
For
What did the
additional
city do?
security, and some of the securities own the venue. Some of the cities or municipalities own the venues. They're not private venues, like
Okay.
convention centers and all that stuff.
Well, I know a convention center generally doesn't cost millions of dollars to rent. They will make their money back regardless of whether you pay or not. Judging by the convention center we have in Fayetteville, they get their money one way or the other.
Oh, yeah, it's a government owned something or other, which means the taxpayers foot the bill for it.
Well, no, I mean, okay, I will do it in a different aspect. The Pew Pew Show in Cumberland County Arena. They don't get paid by the person or group that run the show. Where they get their money is to cut off the tickets as people go in and from the vendors on the inside. And they split the tickets with the person of the group that and the fees with the organizer. And that's the reason I said when it comes to venues, and most of those premier seating, which I'm sure our family regrets getting that preferred seating when Trump got shot at, cost money to sit there. And it wasn't like sitting in a movie theater. Movie theaters cost you over $20 tonight. It was in the hundreds, possibly thousands of dollars to sit right behind where Trump was talking. They got their money. They might say, "Oh, he owes us this money," but they already got their money. And that, again, that's politicians. I don't trust politicians.
Okay, well, I
They're
just hear
all
you
corrupt.
defending your guy, and I'm saying, because
No,
there he
no.
is saying he's not going to pay a bill. He's a
Okay,
deadbeat and a scumbag.
okay.
Doesn't matter who he was talking about a
It,
private venue
at
when he
least he's
said
on.
this
At least,
microphone quit. Don't pay their bill.
okay. At least he's honest. I won't pay the bill. Harris owes lots and lots and lots of money, but she just didn't say I'm not going to pay my bill. She
Okay,
just
you're
hasn't said. But
whataboutisming again. What about
no,
that has anything to do
that
or
wasn't
makes
that
any
wasn't
better your dude?
that wasn't a
But
what
I'm
about it.
still gonna go back to pay attention. Don't get upset. See, now
I'm not upset.
you're allowing
No, I'm not.
your personal bias to cloud your reasoning.
I'm not upset. I even have a smile on my face.
Everybody that does any business with Donald, because it is new. No, he's done strategic corporate bankruptcies throughout his so-called successful career. And I went to business school. I studied I understand what a strategic bankruptcy is. If they're going to lay down and let you do them, do them. Trump and doesn't get their money up front is stupid.
Yeah, from any politician. I'm saying that both the pot and the kettle are both black from the schmutz of being in the fire.
And I'll even give it to you.
Okay.
I'll just, even though we will never be able to prove it, I'll go
Yeah.
with all of the deepest QAnon style conspiracies and say, you know why Google Bar doesn't tell you that Kamala Harris didn't pay her bills? Because Google, they erased it.
I don't know if they erased it or no one bothered to publish it. Because look at the media coverage. How many networks are there? Major networks. How many of them said anything nice about Trump? How many said anything nasty or contrary about Harris or Biden? You don't have to be a conspiracist to look at, okay, you got this many saying mimicking each other, saying the same thing about Trump and Harris. Not this, they're not saying the same thing about Trump and Harris. I mean, what they say about Trump, they all mimic. What they say about Harris, they all mimic. Okay. Let's look at the number of affiliates, networks, and we got multiple network agencies, not just CNN and Fox. There are NBC, NBC, ABC, CBS, BBC. That's British broadcasting. That's overseas, but still. But who do they start bow down and kissing his? I won't say ring. I'm going to say butt. As soon as he wins the election, good, bad, or indifferent, call a spade a spade.
Well,
A hoe a
call a
hoe.
butt kisser a butt kisser. Yep. And it still didn't do them any good. The results are epic fail. Because everybody's talking and squawking about Scarborough. Is that his name? And who's the other lady's name? I always make fun of her name. Scarborough
You mean
Fair.
his wife? The couple?
No, no. I my wife always tells me about them. I ignore them. And Rachel Maddow. Maddow. They all went and kissed bum, the brown ring. People know what I'm talking about. Ratings. This is the heat. 8 days ago, ratings revealed the network has. Why do you suppose? And everybody's got their theories. Here's my theory. Because why not? We're all out of opinions. We discussed that. Why are all their ratings gone since the election? MSNBC and ratings free fall. Daily Mail is usually not cited as a credible source. Whatever. Then get Google to delist them. MSNBC and ratings free fall is networks 25 million a year ago top blah blah blah. The
The
Independent,
thing,
New York Post, TV Insider revealed since the
according,
shocking blah blah blah. All their ratings are in the can. Somebody said within the last 2 weeks.
no, they've been going down for a couple of years now.
Comcast no, I mean they're like at 10% of what they were on November 5th, on December 5th.
Oh yeah, they got beat out by the Cooking Channel and Home Shopping Network.
Trying to sell MSNBC, and Elon Musk threatened to buy it. Then all of a sudden Comcast said, well, maybe we won't sell it. See? Comcast is spinning off the cable news network, and Elon Musk has joked about buying it. What does the future hold? Because
He did the same.
MSNBC is, and they all have these theories
Yeah,
about why are their ratings dropping? Is Donald Trump in charge of the FCC already? No, you idiots.
no one wants to watch your show.
Because all of your yes people who pay you to yes them, you failed them. And now you've left them hopeless for the next 4 years and distressed and depressed. So why should they listen to anything you say? You promised them you would deliver, not Trump, and you failed.
There was I think
Maddow and
it was
Scarborough Co.
there was either Reddit or X, Twitter, whatever you want to call X,
They don't
comment
listen
that
anymore because you lied to them. You
let me find it.
promised not Trump. And they got Trump. And then you kissed the, let's double hard quote this one, ring.
There was a Reddit or X comment. It was Elon talked about Wizard of the Coast bad mouthing Gary Gygax, one of the main creators of Dungeons and Dragons back in the 70s. And someone made the comment, well, if you don't like it, why don't you buy it? And his comeback was, how much? And at that point, the bad mouthing kind of, as far as talking to Elon, just stopped. So, I mean, when you start saying, well, if you don't like it, buy it and do it yourself, there are certain people that can go, okay, how much? I'm not one of them. I just say I don't like the way Wizards of the Coast has managed an IP that I've liked for many, 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 many years. But be careful what you say, because someone might actually take you up on it.
Yep.
That's one reason I think people like Waters and Pelosi, which don't have that presidential immunity of what they say in speeches, should be investigated, put on trial, and hopefully convicted for inciting riots, for inciting for the public endangerment. Because
There is built into the Constitution congressional immunity. But this goes back to and I don't
From
have
when
a
they do
timestamp or a link. We've got to start getting serious that these are not 1802 politicians that may have struggled and lived in a something that resembles more of a survivalist. Life was more difficult in the early 1800s. You couldn't
late
be
1700s.
a super rich government contracting through your husband and his family's businesses politician. There was no such thing in America. So we have got to
Just
get,
like
like I said the other day, and I'll keep screaming it into the void. Here we go again. How many times you got to repeat a thing? As many as it takes to either be done with it and get it out of your system, and it won't ever get out of my system. The fact that I have to live in a reality that no one else does. Cool like that. You do, George. We're poor people, or not super rich people, especially not the worst kind of welfare people. The welfare people that I would rather they just sit at home and collect those checks where they can't do harm to my country. Oh, here we go again. USA must get our people on a documented work platform first and foremost to distinguish when they are doing slash saying official and when they are off the clock. Are you speaking as a you, just another American who can say whatever the heck they want to? Or are you on the American taxpayer's clock and you're going to try to claim that you're immune because of Congress? Sorry, I still don't have a scribe. Constitutional, which is what we call taking a crap in the morning.
excuse me, sir. Your screen, for whatever reason, don't know why, for a little bit went blurry, and then it cleared right back up.
It's because of bandwidth issues.
Okay.
YouTube will automatically reduce the quality, and so will OBS if it starts lagging out and glitching out and having packet failures. I have dropped 0 frames according to OBS, but that doesn't mean the internet is self-correcting. It will try several times to send or resend until it gets a got it good packet acknowledgement. So as internet gets busy, whatever, the ISPs bump into their equipment or something, it will severely lower the bit rates and the qualities of playback videos. U.S. Constitution, congressional immunity. Somebody please go get Sweet Anita's permission for me to do my bananas video. The speech debate, the speech, I don't want an AI overview. The AI overview says the speech or debate clause in the United States Constitution protects members of Congress from arrest and civil suits for actions taken while performing their official duties. So, yes, George, in my book, is absolutely correct. Were they standing on the clock getting their British Robert's Rules of Parliament minutes, yielding and unyielding their minutes and playing with their little tiny 2-ounce hammers? Or were they out there standing in front of a news camera saying some dumb thing, very
They were in front of,
hateful and insightful and threatening? Because that's unofficial.
they,
Charge them with
okay,
incitement and then charge
exactly.
them with treason.
Exactly. That's the reason I made the comment, because Waters was out, not in office, they were out giving a speech in front of people and cameras. Let's get in their faces. Let's let them know beyond a shadow. Don't let them in the restaurants. Don't even.
Includes only, see the Trump immunity ruling, I did a 10.5 hour
Oh, I
stream on
know.
it. Only
I know.
official speech.
Right.
So
Well,
now
it was just
everybody
the reason
please make it clear. And George, you're familiar with the software. There's one called TrackTick. There's one called Gars Pro. Everybody's using Microsoft Teams or Microsoft Team Connects now, or Connect Teams, or all these other. Everybody in my government needs to get on the damn clock and off the clock and document what they're doing. George knows I used to be a SOB at a company we both worked for, and if you don't put your management notes in the damn computer, you ain't getting paid. What the hell did you do with my time? And that's what Congress has to go to.
Yeah.
And it needs to be all the rules and all the whatevers, the states, because they're always going to say, oh, that's a federal power. But the states have the power. Well, then all the states need to get harder on their congresspersons. And the rest of you who don't know, that the Senate and the House of Representatives are both Congress. It's another meism that when people say, oh man, someone better get a hold of the Congress and the Senate. Well, that's a redundant thing to say when they meant the reps and the senators. These people are just our employees and we need to start managing them. They need adult supervision. And we need to stop tolerating these blurry lines. And it's on the list. This all goes back around. See the checklist in the description. Here it is. Politics again. NC. Well, everyone is still talking about Robinson's mouth, and that's my goofy way of saying mouth, meaning both his mouth and what he types on the internet. That's the distraction. Mark Robinson is nothing more than a cheap distraction. So everybody won't be talking about our government is absolutely corrupt, lying, stupid, moronic, thieves, Greek godmen and women's that want nothing more than to get drunk and have orgies. And all the rest of you who think that any one of them, because you voted for a lesser evil, makes them not evil, you're wrong. I'm about to get there. Go back and watch the whole North Carolina Concealed Carry Dread book. Rewarding the loyalty. That's all Donald Trump cares about. Kiss the ring and give him some money. He'll take you places. Tell him the sweet lies he wants to hear, and as long as he don't go to jail, screw you, Cheeseboro and Clark and Giuliani and that other lady I said the other day. If it's okay for the dash R's, Democrats and everybody else, if it's okay for them to do it, Trump and the dash R's, it's sure as hell okay for Cooperstein to do it to me and everybody else they do it to. You authorize it because equality, it's fair. So if you won't hold your guy to a standard, you can't hold them to a standard. Because both sides and the supposed common sense centrists, whatever. And I took a screenshot, went and blew the puke out of my nose.
I'll be back.
I don't know who it came from. I get my news through MSN. Up at the top left of the screenshot, currently on the screen, only slightly hidden. Go back and watch my NC Dreadbook video, is the lady rumored to be a longtime friend of the wife of who was Stein, our DOJ head. What he is Cooper's good boy. Good boy, sheepdog. Rumored to be a college roommate of Stein's wife. It's just a rumor. I cannot get any verification. This is the government implant working total tyranny because no one in government is required to document their actions. This is why everyone in our government is full of absolute poop. And how does it affect anybody? Because if the people at the top won't behave themselves, the people at the mid-level, which is just some state stupid government, and all we've got, some of us, the rest of you who are blissfully ignorant, and you scrape by better than I do, and you've never had a cop point a gun at you and threaten you, or had a mayor steal your building just 'cause he could, then go off and be a Marie Antoinette herself. But stop talking big tough words like revolution, because you don't want to know what that's going to entail if it happens. And here's me again saying, if someone else starts it, I will take care of me and my own. But no, nobody. Don't organize. Don't be patriots. Don't be thinking anything like warfare. You people don't know what it means. Anyway, this fine lady who has destroyed the North Carolina Department of Justice the entire time that Josh Stein has been there, because she's free and clear. The only way you're going to complain is to the Department of Justice itself. And Josh Stein's ears have never worked. Especially not about somebody that is supposedly a long time, decades long, friendly friend, possible former roommate of his wife. Instead of being just some ghost in the hallways of the DOJ ruining everything for the poor slobs who happen to have to live at the peasant level in this state. He got elected. She's moving on up. Now she is in charge of an entire department. Somebody get a hold of our North Carolina legislator. And they've known this all along. It's a North Carolina legislator and a North Carolina senator who leaked her relationship, not in writing, out to us in the public, hoping that us in the public would say something. And anybody who's thinking, oh, let me find out who that woman is. No. Not unless you're going to go stand on Tom Tillis's toes or some other goon who you pay to be your North Carolina General Assembly and get them to not approve. Only the system as it exists today. Or shut up and tell your mind to shut up. Organize your crew and send a declaration. Because guess who's going to come a stomping on you? Josh Stein, our governor-elect, who is right now in charge of our Department of Justice, and hopefully your local sheriffs and anybody else. Bad people on planet Earth. It's very easy for you to think these impure thoughts and silliness thoughts and sad, hopeless, lonely thoughts. And I very much despise, not her personally. Yes, her personally, because life didn't teach her to grow up like it taught me. Except I'm jealous of it. I wish life had treated me so kind that I could just bumblebee through like a Marie Antoinette. Oh, you mean I hurt somebody? It didn't hurt me. So cute, Leslie. You're so cute. I forgive you. I hate the idea of it. It's one of the injustices of our world that's existed since before documentation of our earth. Just because we're selfish and all we can see is ourselves, go back and read the Bible. That collection of tales. What was going on between some fictional character named Moses and his people and the slave-holding Egyptians? That's credibly 5,500 years ago. At least if you're going to call it fiction, you cannot deny the authoring date of the fiction, California atheists. Don't. And it's part of today's topics again and again and again and again. It's just something I saw. It's another salt in the wound that is my life. But I'm okay. We're up here laughing about it. I'm up here saying, I hope you were smart enough to steal a whole bunch of that money. That's what the other side is going to say. When I would say, if you would pay me some of that money to advise you, I'll wash a ton, several many truckloads of it off. I'll foot all the taxes and shove the dollar bills in your G-string, politician. You convince the widows to give up their mites, and I'll make sure we don't go get prosecuted for it. Donald Trump. Or even the appearance of. If you got to pay off to Google to remove the search results, pay them off. Supposedly smart people about money. But here we go. Because nobody, and I did make myself a ha ha ha. That's a 3 ha-has laugh. Because my mind told me to tell you, Earth, Internet, America, for all of you, oh, you didn't vote, you can't speak. Well, unless you don't vote for lesser evil or lesser evils, like me, because you have no hope in this useless system of mine.
Mic right now.
Please wait while we try to reconnect you. The stream was dropping off earlier. George, or the quality. Well, I just got a full disconnect. It might just be